Good morning, guys. This is Chris from 4K Motoring again. Today we've got another video for you guys. This one's going to be involving a dash cam installation in my 2018 Nissan.Titan XD. As always, guys, we appreciate you tuning in to 4K Motoring. Here's what we have today. I have a Kenwood DVR A301 dash cam I've been testing for just a little while now, maybe 2 weeks or so. I've just had it plugged into a cigarette outlet in the dash that's ignition-based power. It's been turning on and off with the truck. You looked at some of the videos on the computer, pulled them up from the SD card. Look pretty decent. It's just 1080p, so it's not the most detailed, but it gives you a pretty good idea of what's going on. You can read license plates that are close to you, and it was only $100 from Best Buy. So not a bad deal, I think. It's got GPS in it, so it automatically syncs to speed, location data, sets the clock, has a G4 sensor, has the ability to work as a parking camera with some motion activation. So, decently happy with it for the price so far. Seems like a decent quality unit. What I want to do now is actually hardwire it into the truck to ignition power. And to do that, just got a simple off Amazon power adapter cable. Use a mini USB plug for the camera. Seems like that's a pretty frequent sort of connector that all these cameras use. So we'll tap into that, see what it comes with here, and we'll see how easy it is to hide these wires and get a decent installation going. So we're here on the passenger side of the truck where the factory fuse panel is. The problem I think we're going to run into here, we'll see how much room we have, but the fuse panel is right behind the glove box door here, and in that there's a little access panel to it. And you can see it's not a terrible amount of space, but it doesn't give us a whole lot to work with. I think we can probably get around, put something behind it and through. We'll see. We may have to take this plastic trim off around it just for a little bit better access here. So let's go ahead. We'll attempt it the easy way here without it all put together. We'll see if we can wire it in. If not, we'll go ahead and pull that off. Shouldn't add a whole lot of work to it either way, and we'll go from there. So this is how our dash cam is currently set up. It's just got the suction cup mount with the power cord running down to a 12-volt plug. That is an ignition power source. So I like where the camera is overall. I think I'm going to move it up a little bit and use the adhesive mount so it's a little bit more hidden behind my mirror from the driving perspective. But I'll run the wire as best I can up along this factory groove here on the top of the windshield. That way the wires will be hidden. I'll try and pull this trim piece out here, this main piece, even though I almost don't need to, can almost get past it, but I'll see if I can pull that off. That way we can get behind it and just drop a wire down. That'll make it look nice and professional and hopefully not be too difficult. So this is a point where you'll need a thin screwdriver or plastic trim remover kit. What we're going to do first is get this handle off so we can release this trim panel. There's a bolt on, or a screw on both sides of this. There are access panels. These little covers here just slide off. They slide straight out. So if you can wedge something into the beginning just to kind of get it a little bit loose, and kind of the same thing back here, it'll just slide forward. And it's a captive system. It doesn't fall when you pull it out. So there you go. Here's what we got. It looks like I'm going to say 10 millimeter. It's also got a Phillips head pattern on it. We'll go ahead and see if we can get those two out, and we'll go from there. That was pretty easy. Those screws were not tight at all, so remember, if you reinstall them, they don't have a lot of torque on them. Next, we're going to pull this weather stripping out a little bit so we can get to the back edge of this, see if there's any clips, and work on pulling this trim piece out. I don't believe there is. Actually, we might not even need that, so let's go ahead and see what we can do. Just be careful, there is an airbag behind this. See the tabs kind of pop out here. See when it pops out. Just goes behind, comes up, there we go. So it's a little bit dirty back there. You can see we've got our Rockford Fosgate speaker. It's on the back of this. There's a plug there if you need to remove that for any reason. Be careful of the routing of this airbag here. We don't want to do a whole lot with that. So the factory wiring harness is along here. We're going to try and run our wires zip tied to that. That way it stays tucked out of the way and not interfering in any way with this airbag. Before we go ahead and route the new cable, I am going to go ahead and change the mount for the dash cam itself. So as I said, right now it's got the adhesive mount on it. This is magnetic, which is pretty cool. It just comes off, leaves the mount there. I want to go ahead and change this piece and move it up a little bit higher. That way I can get this adhesive mount somewhere up here. So it's tucked up just a little bit higher, a little bit more cleanly. This comes with a decently long cable. I believe it said 11-foot cable, so there should be plenty to go up and around. It does always take a little bit more than you think it will, but I think we'll be okay here. So I'm looking at the connectors here. It's got a pretty decent little converter box here that may be too thick to fit through a little access area over here. So I may try and run this up from the bottom here, get this thin wire through and run it kind of backwards up to see what we get. So let's go ahead and try that first. So that actually worked pretty well. I'll show you what I did here. The factory wiring harness here, there is a small opening right there that was big enough to fit that box through. I was able to drop the full wire down there, and underneath here was able to come up underneath and find the wire as it came up. Went ahead and grabbed it, and now I have full access to both sides and can pretty easily get that wire through to the fuse box. So that side's going to be good. There's plenty of line there. We'll go ahead and finish running the wire up and around and get it tucked up and put the trim panels back. We'll go ahead and connect the wiring, and I believe that should be it. Now, as we can see from the driver's perspective here, there's a little black wire that runs up in this black trim up here, so that stays pretty hidden. We're going to go ahead and put a little zip tie to hold the two wires together right up here. It comes with a couple clips to hold the wiring, which I don't think we'll need, so we'll just put another zip tie along the wiring harness down here to hold the wires together. We'll wire it up. We'll go ahead and take care of some of this extra line down here that we're not going to need, and then we'll be done. So we've got it done here. We've got our zip tie up there. Our wires all hidden up in this track here. And you'll see we put quite a few zip ties near all the factory connectors on the A-pillar here. Again, be very careful around this airbag. You don't want to put anything that's going to get caught on it or anything that's going to interfere with it in any way. So I know it's going to be hidden behind a trim panel. You could normally just kind of route wiring and leave it go, but make sure you have at least one connector near every one of the factory connectors, just to make sure things stay tucked up and don't come loose. From there, we'll go ahead and reattach the trim panels, and we'll go ahead and get the wiring finished up underneath. This trim piece is pretty easy to line up. So you've got 3 tabs on the bottom that fit into slots on the bottom. They'll go in first. We've got 1 locking tab that goes into a post there, and then we've got 1 taller one up top that's going to go into this one. Okay, those are pretty simple. This is where the factory grab handle goes onto. So we'll go ahead and get these bottom ones mounted first. So you can see our part manufacturer dates there, 2017, end of 2017. We'll go ahead and get the bottom in. We'll snap our 2 main posts in, and then we'll get our handle back on and the vent back in, and that should be it for the trim. So remember, these bolts were not very tight at all, so don't go cranking down on those. The little covers here, they go in flat from the top here. There's 2 little tabs to get it started, and 2 locating tabs at the end here. These are the 2 side tabs to get it started, and then we have a top tab and a bottom tab to get it lined up. So we'll come in straight, we'll get those 2 side tabs locked in first, Make sure the bottom and top tabs are going in straight. Push it in, and there we go. So this is going to be a little difficult to do one-handed. We'll see if that shows up on camera. What we're going to go for is the power socket. You get two power socket options. They're both 20 amps. Those are the yellow ones right here towards the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and pull one of those out. And what we have are these fuse adapters here. So we'll go ahead and find the one that fits here. Should be this one, I believe. We'll go ahead and pull that one out. This one, the bottom fuse, I'll put that in focus, that'll probably be better. This should be our mini fuse adapter. On that, it's got room to put two fuses in. One, the bottom fuse holes here should be your factory fuse, because that's going to be your factory circuit. And your top holes will be the circuit for the camera, which it has fuses included for that. So we'll go ahead and stick this in real quick. We'll go ahead and connect it up, and it should be that easy. Okay, the fuses are in. I will say that the fuses that this comes with are pretty garbage. The pegs on them, you can see how they fold out a little bit. They do not fit. So you're going to have to use your own fuse, either one of the spares from in here, or something that you have back at the house already. So that's done. Go ahead and route this wiring back. We'll find a ground to hook to here. We went ahead and found a ground bolt here on a metal piece of the frame underneath. You can see that up under there. We have our wires tucked up under here, zip tied all together. So completely clean. As you can see, we did take the glove box door off with just those 3 pins and this strap. I'll link my other video here that shows you how to do that if you're curious. We'll go ahead and start up the truck now and see what we get. So truck is now started. See, our camera is booting up. There we go. You can see the camera angle is good. Pushing straight ahead. It is tucked out of the way. From where I'm driving, it's almost impossible to even see, not in the way. This button right down here is the one you hit to save and lock a file if something were to happen. So I can still reach that from where I'm sitting. Otherwise, the wires put back together. Aside from the glove box door, everything is hidden back there. With that, we are done. Here it is, guys. Everything you're going to need to install your dash cam. If you have a Kenwood, I know that these fit, these two kits fit exactly. Some other brands may need different kits, but this should be about everything you need. So for the Nissan, it's going to be a 10mm ratchet with an extension on it. You're going to need a set of pliers, a set of wire cutters to snip off zip ties, a couple zip ties. You'll need either a trim puller kit or just a screwdriver, flathead screwdriver will work. And something with a little hook is preferred, but you can get a screwdriver that'll take this job too. As always, guys, appreciate you watching. Hope you learned something and got something from this video. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to this channel for more. We will definitely be bringing more content to you. As you can see, dash cam is installed, tucked away nice and slick, and we're done for the day. So keep watching and we'll see you next time.